were saying overall when it came to how they were approaching the synergy between these agents and stuff. But I'm not too certain on what we're going to expect out of Big, first and foremost. It feels like it's kind of like still early days for them to sort of see what they can do with his composition. So I think that if Surreal could get an early start, which is quite common because they've won 3 out of the 4 pistols so far, they can maybe go on and actually do some damage on this defensive side, which is where I think this composition is more than likely to shine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing this Big side's composition, really see if it is better on paper. Obviously, we look at it, it certainly is. But, you're looking at the other side of things. I'm interested to see how they're going to make this one work for Surreal. Lothar brings up the point that it's going to be difficult to make this one work efficiently. Would have to agree with how this all set up. But pissed up against Surreal, getting aggressive through Dish. Cage off to the right side, but they're going to be pushing A here via the other side of things, Big.
Yeah, they cyber cage across the trademark. It's a lot of space taken from Surreal up to the high ground, but Big have to use this opportunity to just sort of sneak all the way through A main. Even the Sage wall is up. Nobody's really around on site, and the trademark is now being broken. Big know that there's going to be some pressure in towards Dish, but how many is the question that they're going to be wondering at this point.
You're going to come in from drop, slow up towards Heaven. Going to try and just make that drop down a little more risky. And Twistin has gone in to the Cloudburst to come out with the pick on towards Masic. And now the defense rapidly try and get their way back in as Twistin's just changing up his position. Spots a little bit of a gap towards the right side of that wall. Sends the pinch shells in to buy some extra time. Wall available for Ryans. He's going to throw that up, but Twistin is taking everybody down and even goes to the knife. But Ryans will at least take him out. Not for long, though. Will he stay up as he gets taken out for Big? His pistol starts. They will have it on the attacking side. Now, we talk about Big. We've seen their defense so far. Their defense has been incredible. Their attacking side has been lacking, but getting a good start here on the attacking side of Fracture will certainly set them up for some early success at least.
Sure. I'm wondering at this point now if Surreal are just going to force, because a lot of people died to the spike on the side of Big. Whoa! This is Mel. Like, where's the sign? Where's the sign? Let's talk about doing. There we go. Just as soon as the round's done, she's like, "I'm back to the sign, thank you."
She does love that sign. You know what? We need to get Mel one of those signs for her office at home.
Yeah, just get
as
like
a collective. I think us
yeah.
need to get something like that. I think
that'd be a very smart like casting backdrop.
Yeah, it would be kind of cool.
I think it should be a Twitter banner as well.
Yeah.
Stakes are high. Let's talk in more doing.
I like it. It's a good motto rather to live by. Moda, yeah. Yo, Moda.
It's also more surprising to see that Surreal haven't forced up. Something that they have been consistently doing. 2 shorties, Ryans is with 1. Actually, they're both actually stacked up in this tower position. A little bit of a crossfire. I feel like it's going to get 1 at this point.
A little bit of
cheeky
crossfire.
Little players, look at this.
That's what I like. Well, let's see if the shorty is able to do anything about it. Right below, 2 bullets right between the legs. Casper out of play, and now Twistin able to find the reply immediately. The headshot connected on towards Masic, and the aftershock will find his victim, no problem. Alfia quick to the headshot, and he is now alone. A 1v3 in total against better weapons, not going to be happening. 2-0 start for Big, as one would expect, but Surreal, now it's all about the purchase up. We'll see the rifles come out, the Vandals, the Phantoms, everything you want, and utility is clearly there as well. For Big, it is going to be majority bonus, saving 2 Spectres, a Bulldog, and of course the Vandal now picked up, and a Phantom in play.
How many signs are there that just says stakes are high, let's talk in more doing?
What's the other thing? Keep it secret, keep it safe. You know what that is?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a Gandalf reference.
There we go. I'm glad. There's some casters that I was casting with before that haven't even watched Lord of the Rings, Ryan, so I'm glad I'm in this casting duo now.
Heard about them on Reddit. They get announced for all of the big events. Like, yeah, but I've never seen Lord of the Rings.
Well, advantage picked up here for Surreal. Big still trying to charge towards A. They have got 1 lurk of Aslan over on the other side of things. It's not really looking so hot for Big right now, but they have actually gained a lot of ground on A. A lot of information being picked up here for Surreal. Aslan, he has just been spotted by RyanCentral. Oh, brought him to the fight somehow. I don't know how he's done that, but he's taken JJ out of play, and now got B springs into action. Another kill found for Big, and these players are now back to a 3v3 on the server. Alpha here spotted up towards Tower. He's actually going to be held back at Heaven by the fault line. And now Obnox still going to put some pressure onto him. Alpha here swings, and it's just one. He's traded out almost immediately. Second play coming from the same position, but Big are ready for it. You can see with that flashpoint are aware of that possibility. So, yeah, not looking great here for Surreal suddenly.
Yeah,
Big in the side.
needs to chill. He's going to wait for his teammate. Has to break a sage wall, and now it's a 1 versus 1. I know roughly where Reeds is coming from.
No
and Guppy
way.
can't win that duel. It's the better gun that wins out, and he had plenty of utility to work with.
Yeah.
But attempted to go for something a bit more aggressive on an off angle.
Yeah, it felt a little rough there if we got B to swing. Didn't really need to. Had lots to work with. In fact, even had the ultimate. Wasn't likely to use that in that situation, but given he still had a few pieces left, he could have brought into the fight. But confidence into the swing. Another stakes are high sign, right?
Yeah, another one, yeah. I feel like this needs to... every time it's on the screen, just chat needs to just spam it.
Yeah, it's a new Twitch chat spam.
Yeah, like there's probably some nice little emotes to work with across the various platforms that you can just... Every time Mel goes to it, you know what your job is. We don't ask for much chat, but I think Mel would absolutely adore it if you did that, so yeah. But it's still a bit of a buy coming in, like Surreal working with awkward guns, but now the full buy is in. Alpha is going to back off instantly after Boombot clears onto Dish. Ultimates, Rolling Thunder for Guppy. That's going to be the big one on this attack, and it seems to be coming in from the high ground. But what direction is it going to go in? Is it going to go towards site or towards defender spawn?
Masick sees a couple of bullets whiz past his head. Can't really do too much about it. Doesn't really gain a lot of info either. And now J-Lurst looks for the peek down in towards main and actually gets caught inside the fault line. Twisting gets aggressive. Oh, I love the play, but somehow still J-Lurst is able to get that pick. Will eventually be traded out, but nonetheless it has put our fire in a pretty rough spot. He's stuck in the back of the site alone with a specter of all weapons, and not a single kill will be found on the site hold itself. There is a gap in the wall. They have to be aware of this. They have to be aware of the blind side they can play through, but they're not. And JJ still comes in with a pick.
Ryan's 1-0 lob away from having to resurrect as well. If you can get a kill, it can maybe bring on the site of where JJ is playing from. He opts up to the high ground. Casper again playing on an aggressive angle. Crossfire set up for Big.
Yeah, now they clear out the left side of the site with that aftershock, confirming that they can focus their crosshairs in the right side of things. They spot one head up. Ryan's just jumps on top of his own wall, and it's easy. It's an easy kill. And that's going to be God B going down. His wall goes up. Res in. Mason back to his feet, and that defuse being stuck. Big, yet again, close to a round win, but it let it slip towards the end. And this was their problem earlier, if you remember back to Bind. They took the site. The initial plan worked out well, but holding on to it was almost impossible.
And I wonder how much of it as well is just like Twiston still being in the server in these plans. Like he's 5-4 right now. He's not really like in that last round just ran right into J-Lurst, who has really been a rock and anchored over onto these sides. You sort of expect it. Another one sticks so high. Let's talk him or doing. Really like, yeah, probably posted around like right headquarters. But now an eco forced out from Big and gonna try and head over towards this B tree position, but need to be careful behind them as A main is being scaled upon by these defenders.
What if you're doing is talking, Ryan? In our case.
I don't know. We need to contact HR. This is...
Yes, the motto has confused me. I'm not really sure what I need to do. Do I keep talking? But then I'm not doing. And if I'm not doing, then I'm not talking. And it bends my brain. But Twisted, nonetheless, has found JJ. And he is certainly doing his job in finding that. Now the paint shells go in towards Tower, and Obnox is playing the life of Ryans. Oh, this is looking a little rough for Surreal. They're down a player. J-Lurst could recover that.
Towards the site too as well, so this should be an easy plant. Sage Wall has also protected that B main positioning. I have to rely on some of these ultimates.
Yeah, Alpha here has done well. That's at least a kill back, and that evens out the odds again. So 3 players on each side of things here, but they're all coming in from the same position here with Surreal, and that's going to be an easy lineup for Twisted. 2 down, and Alpha here tries his best, but can't best go B. A thrifty round for Big as they once again are into the lead.
Yeah, much better from Twiston. I like how they took that tower control as well with a pain shell and a fault line. Obnox was there to actually get the kill on the player that was stuck up in that spot. And it really meant that Big really had nothing to work with, had no right in really winning that round completely. Actually just snowball their way over. And it definitely feels uncomfortable for Surreal. Usually they are very strong in terms of the chaos and being able to work on it, especially towards the A side. But on B, it felt that they weren't sure where to stand, where to position themselves. And Twistons can punish that day in and day out. Bladestorm is even dedicated as well, as this is not really the buy that Surreal were hoping for. Again, some nice utility combo. It's going to be the camera coming in, clear up the boom bot, and still allows Jailers to play in on that corner.
That works.
Open B site though. Look at this. Everybody's rotated away. Digger found the timing and an open site.
Yeah, they found the space, they found the timing, and yeah, they'll find the plant no problem. And again, they should be taking this one. Looking at the economy on the other side of things, Surreal do love to gamble a little bit, and often you can be on the wrong side of gambling, but that has certainly worked out. JJ catches them looking the wrong way. Another Bladestorm popped. Oh, Masic, if he had found that pick, he was 2 HP away from removing the life of Twisted, and that could have changed the entire face of the round. It still can be won, though. It still can be recovered here for Surreal. There's now 3 players up on either side and significant damage done, especially onto Twistin, who is now removed entirely, and that's the spike loose. It is the neural theft being sent into play to confirm the position of the last remaining players, but Omnox has taken matters into his own hands. The rifle has found the life of 2. Just Masic left into the clutch, a 1v2 for him, but he's already found that first victim, and Obnox, with a confirmed position of the remaining player, has decided it's time to sprint towards A, but look who is running over here too. Masic might get here in time to call. Oh, he will be. He'll be covering the cross, and Obnox goes down. Masic with a clutch, and a ridiculous round to lose for Big. They had the empty sight. They were up against the weaker guns, but still, Surreal come out on top.
It's even like the stim dedicated from Obnox to rotate a little bit faster, but because this defense can just cut right through the center of the map, they're in there in no time. And it's just loads of chaos. Like, Surreal have been pushing and prodding certain parts of the map and finding very little. The Big seemed to just have everything that they needed in order to get through, and it was tentatively shut down. And it seems like Surreal especially, more of a focus on the top side of the map. That's where they're clearing out. They're leaving A main and B trees susceptibly open. But now they're finding a bit of a headstrong attack, and Twistin with a showstopper finds that first kill, and Alphagir finds up one to trade.
Ashes through the pin shots back at himself, so had to go into the cage. Luckily he was there to cover him off. Godby's back in the fray. And the wall up to confirm their life will stay. Now Aslan swings out, watches Heaven, and on the second time of asking, claim the life. Also gets information as to the whereabouts of a second player down in the site, so JJ could fall foul rather to the remaining forces that are coming this way, Ryan.
Operator is posted up on this angle though. Twistin's just about to peek it. It's awkward timing. You've also got JJ playing on the low ground, but Aslan finds JJ. The rolling foot that's going to be used. Masic able to get one. Not traded out just yet, but he can't get another. Yeah, well, the spike is down on the bottom of the site now, so Big into a little bit of a breather zone, but Masic has to plant in that back corner. He's calling his teammates, he's pinging it, but it's every kill going for Big, and now Masic has to do everything on his own. He actually will eventually get the opportunity onto Casper, and actually swings into the site, switches out to the Vandal instead. Rendezvous now removed, so Aslan can't quickly react and get closer to the site. Tap on a Masic. Oh, the headshot, and now it's just Godby. He doesn't know where he is, though. He thinks he could be in main, but Godby's up above, and the aftershock goes down. And now he knows that Godby's up here. Now he knows that Godby can't really do too much about this. And he has to drop, but the defuse is being stuck. It's already over half. It's all the way, and Godby, luckily, with the headshot, confirms the round for Big. Yeah, that sort of dish control from Godby has been awkward to say the very least, because he's backing off so much and dedicating that utility to stalling a plant. It means that it wasn't watched. Masic gets that kill, I think, over onto Casper, able to get onto the A site for free because Godby is playing off of it a little bit more. It still works out in the end, but it's some of those moments that look a little bit weak from Big. And the jet pickup of Surreal, like Zescht said, no other teams in VCT have been using this thus far on this map. Middling results so far from Masic, but he's still able to put in those performances.
Well, Big have been here before, Ryan, and it's up against Pistols. Not always the cleanest of rounds. In fact, not even the round wins sometimes. So Yeah, I'm sure they're sweating a little bit coming into this. You've got to give it the respect it requires.
Masic, yeah, he's going to make you sweat when he has that Bladestorm online too. Now, all 4 of these players from Surreal looking to actually push through A main together. Masic is going to lead the line and finds everybody. Some of the kills are traded out, and this is a scramble.
Yeah, this is a lot of action happening down in A main. We see the Aftershock clear the close corner, Orbital Strike, try and force them back. The Bladestorm finally gets its reward. Little headshot coming through, but once again, it is Masic and Ryans trying to close out a 2 versus 3. Big, lose significant numbers towards that A site. And actually, it's a race back to B, but Surreal have had a head start. They've read this and ready. Oh, Ryans the quick switch. Wrong time to do it. And now Masic up in the elevated position. That Bladestorm is finding so much.
30 seconds
Smoke
left.
has been watched keenly by Aslan, and the Bladestorm going to be used up. He's only got a classic.
Sheriff down. Couldn't quite find it. And Gobi had the angle to the headshot. 5 rounds for Big. They should win these rounds. And the fact that every single time we're in a pistol scenario like that and we have to get hype, we have to start thinking about a possible round loss for Big, that is a little worrying. But 5 rounds on the attacking side already, Ryan. This is the side we say they look less favored on. This is a very good start nonetheless.
Yeah, it's convincing. Like, Twiston again is in consistent form with how he's been playing it out. Casper, it's been a bit of a quieter day considering how brightly he started this tournament off, 1-8.
Yes.
And the full buy Masic operator in hands again, going to be checking towards A main, but this time Big focusing on like B trade. This is where they found a lot of early success. There's no ultimates to play off the back of. And quite a little bit. JList has had this Cosmic Divide for a while, and he's not needed it.
Oh, JJ. Oh, look at that timing, Ryan. That is so brutal. Wall up. I love that from Ryans, but actually hasn't got the kill. Oh, eventually will. Aslan swings out. It's actually double peak with Gobi. So the trade is confirmed, and the advantage will be held as Casper doubles his kill count for that peek out to the right side of his own wall. And, well, now, for Surreal, it's hard to see their way back in unless Big slip up massively.
Twiston's actually moved his way around to the bottom. He was over towards up in Arcade, and now he's over in trade, just crunching his position, making sure it's clear. Yeah, 4 versus 2. Operator might even be worth holding on to at this point because Masic time is not on your side. Neither is the economy. Exit frags seem to be the call as they're eking their way out slowly. And Big, yeah, have found a huge amount of openings towards B, and it took some like cool stuff for Surreal. Like, I really like the Sage Roll boost that came in from Ryans, but Gobi instantly trades it afterwards. Just straight away gets in that kill. He has been terrific today playing off of his team.
Gobi has been a real treat to watch, always has been, and seems to be always will be. And he wants a spot in VCT. He wants to maintain that. And want to protect their claim to the top level of Valorant to be played here in EMEA. For Surreal, it is looking rough.
Yeah, now it's more of a crunch play coming in. We've not seen too much from Arcade other than the play that we saw before with the paint shell and the stun, and that seems to be maybe in line with what Big is planning here. Flashing is going to be aggressive, and Scotty, one orb away from having that rolling thunder, is going to try and get this orb on the low ground of Arcade.
The Boombot goes through the slope. And actually going to set up an opportunity for Twiston. That's land and Gobi. As 3 come down, Ryans is done well on the Sheriff to at least find something, and that will keep his team within touching distance. As Gobi confirms the plant Big now in a very good position to try and close this out. But it is Masic and Jailers left into this, Ryan. They can win this round.
He's watching it.
He is.
These guns that were saved beforehand as well.
2 bullets.
Ooh.
That's a problem there for Gobi. That should have been a confirmed kill, but 2 bullets left in the chamber. Rolling thunder up for him.
The operator shot has given away where the Jet is playing from, and there's the flank that comes in from Opnox. From tunnel all the way to wraparound, so good adjustment. And not bad considering like Surreal held onto those guns in that eco. Now have a full buy, but because it's round 11, it is a case now that like if they don't win this round, their buy in round 12 is going to be pretty horrible. And I think that's why a timeout's going to be called, because it is just a reminder of Surreal. Like, yes, we want to win this round, but if we are in a position where we need to save, let's save.
I want a cinema like this at home, Ryan. But what's up with the little third wheeling squirrel at the end, man? Like, she left out.
I just want my nuts.
Yeah, just he's
And
happy,
he's
content in the
disappeared.
corner with his own nuts.
We have entered the void. This is like Mel's void.
Yeah, it's Mel's void.
It's all a lie.
You ever seen the show, The Good Place?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Mel's void. Yeah. What do you call the character with the void in Good Place? I've forgotten the name.
Which one?
Well, obviously they got like that AI in the Good Place.
Oh.
Janet, that's the one.
Janet, yeah. Janet.
Yeah, we got Mel's void and Janet's void, but Mel's one looks a little creepier,
It's
to be
got
honest.
the stakes are high sign everywhere.
Yeah, kind of scary. It's just filled with motivational quotes all day. It's like a bodybuilder's Instagram. 7-3, nonetheless, Big are looking good. And now we take a look at the buy for Surreal. It's good. It's very good now, but they need to start winning round wins towards the end of this half. Now, you can recover a few. Obviously, this is about to be a head-on battle. Yep.
Tunnel fight.
Tunnel fight. It's going to work out for Twistin as he takes out the first two, but do they read the other? They certainly will. Twistin ready for three. He said if there's two here, well, there's likely a possibility for another, and so just holds and is continuing to hold. As now his team are shutting this down, and this is a buy that is going to the wayside. A single player left. Big have just absolutely wrecked the side of Surreal. Luckily, Alfear stops a flawless from being possible, but how can he do anything else?
That kind of felt like the whole plan for Surreal is, okay, they have a rolling thunder, they have all of this stuff that they can use from in tunnel, shut it down early, and Big were just expecting it. Like, they seem to be a call ahead, but Alphashare is making this very expensive 1v2.
Oh no, don't count your chickens before they hatch, Big, and here they go into the fight, luckily Twistin with a bit of overkill. That should have been flawless, right? It felt like it, but nonetheless, Big got a lot of cash going into the last round. They got a lot of rounds now, too. They're looking for 9-3 out of the attacking side. This is looking fantastic for Big, considering what we pointed out earlier was Big are loving the defensive proactive play, and that is exactly the play style that works here on Fracture. So it is looking very good for Big to close this.
Yeah.
I think you're really seeing the problems here with the composition that Surreal have selected coming into play.
It's a map that just seems to naturally suit Big. It was kind of weird that they permabanned it for so long because they're the ones who want to play out the macro play. And if they can bring out the operator like that with Aslan, yeah, they can find a lot of openings. But Surreal, yeah, just have to throw in these guns that they had available. Their lowest buy has actually scrambled themselves into a 2 versus 2. The issue is that the B site is open for Big and the wraparound is coming in from Surreal.
Yeah, it's quick, it's loud, and those steps are being heard out. And Obnox, he needs to be careful, actually. They're so close. They're already in the middle of a fight. Alfear to the headshot has removed Obnox, and now Casper, who's been the quietest performer throughout this first half, needs to clutch it out. He is already sprinting his way towards A.
He needs to double his kills. He's only on 2.
Yeah. Now that is hard. Let's see if he's able to make it happen.
Yes, he did the res.
The res, yeah. So
Problem is everybody else is on the other side of the map. So he has to, like... There's no way he pushes all the way to B tree to get a res. But what he can do is preemptively shut down this attack early on. He just needs to be careful about this camera that's in A main.
Yeah, Jailer's... Let's go close to divide. And Casper's going to be holding. And they're coming in towards him. Alfear immediately checks it, and Casper goes down. So, won't be able to clutch it out nonetheless, but I think Big will be pretty happy with the amount of rounds they got in this first half, even though they probably could have squeezed another there.
Yeah. I do think that there is some pullback for Surreal. I mean, they almost brought back a 10-2 half, so 8-4 is most definitely doable.
Switching
and their
sides.
pistols have been clear cut so far. Big have not been winning out on a majority of them, just across what we've seen from them in promotions anyway. Surreal have a chance here. They're attacking. Maybe this jet can come alive a bit more there. I like to see Big on this defense. They were proactive in their approach, in their attack, and how they took space. Gotta imagine it's the case. The stakes are high. As a reminder, if Big win this map, they head back to VCT, where they were once relegated from, for Stage 2. It's gonna be one of the Reykjavik winners, I'm calling it now.
Let's move from here.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it's a pretty good call. I mean, you always got it back. One of the sides from here, but Twistin, oh my god, no way. How has he got away with 2 there? He should have gone down almost immediately. In fact, how does he get away for all that time? It's set up Big perfectly to try and close this. Alfear thrust into the clutch, a 1v4 total, and only manages 1. 9-4. Big with a fantastic start in the second half, and with the pistol now put themselves in a perfect position to try and close out this map. We'll see if Surreal bounce back. They can win Thrifties. We've seen far too many of them in this series so far, so Big got to be aware of that the Sheriffs pack a punch.
I'm a little bit sort of worried that the pace of Surreal has kind of got to a point where it's very 50-50 on whether they win out some of these rounds now. They're not trying to play the map. They're just sending themselves in these pistols in like the last round of the first half. Now that they have no buy, it seems to be much of a slower pace, but it still doesn't stop Aslan getting that first kill. He's got a few of those, considering he's not on the duel list today. And Chamber's working out nicely for him.
Wildfire has been heavily tied up now, barely walking at 12 HP. His healer out of the round already, so we'll not be seeing a boost to that. For Big, they're looking to try and push the double figures, and it's looking good with the start they've got. Twistin gets away with it. Just down to one. Should be traded out, no problem. He will be by the Classics. Acceleration now into Casper's position. He's got a ghost to try and hold this right.
Yeah, they've saved onto as much as possible, so it does mean it's a bit more awkward. Got Bido with a Bulldog. Tried and trusted. Gob with a dog. Obnox, still that sole player over on the B site, is going to maybe catch Alpha Giro over on his flank. He was low health anyway. So it might actually be the giveaway that Surreal are edging over to B, and Obnox changing up the angle he's playing for, and he's not afraid to take these fights.
Well, Jailers claims the life and forces it out of God B. And now they try and commit to the plant. They're actually going to stick it in the corner. Stimmy to set up the spray, and that's easy for the Spectre. When the acceleration and the rapid fire increases of that weapon, it becomes an absolute laser beam. And I love that little wink to the camera Obnox give us there. He knows what he's just done. Little wink to the cam. Now I know why. Brimmy's Mel's favorite agent. 10 rounds nonetheless for Big.
Yeah, a few people have been coming out with that recently. I wonder why. This is buff Brim, to be fair. We're still on patch 4.04, so he's got 2 of these stimmies. He still had 1 left after this Obnox, which kind of goes to show how good Brim was in this short picture of time, I guess it would be. A snapshot of time, I'd say. Yeah,
we all get to enjoy the double stem Brim for a little while. At this point, it's probably being competitive play longer than there's been a normal play.
Yeah, probably about 50-50. Aslan, he has the Spectre. He's going up against this full buy of Surreal, has that teleport to get himself out of here on Arcade. I'm watching this close angle. Probably wait to see if there's going to be an orb touch at this point that he can play off, but he also has Obnox there to support. He can't teleport out. The Phantom wins that first duel, and now Obnox is going to go checking. Was watched by JJ, but loses out on the duel.
Well, the flashpoint goes over the top of the wall. Jailers actually takes out Obnox, and yeah, not looking good for Big here. Again, this was a bonus with the weapons they brought to the table. And they're just trying to do as much damage as they can to the attacking-sided economy, and well, Casper now on his flank has even been spotted out, and it looks like Twistin isn't going to find too much from his spot. So good round here for Surreal.
Still that bonus for Big. Maybe if Twister can get a couple more kills, it'd be worthwhile, but right now, yeah, Surreal only losing 1 is pretty good, all things considered. He's gonna try and maybe just dive in on the defuse, at least pull somebody else in.
Oh yeah, I mean
the
heart rate when that happens increases very much for Surreal, but obviously with the time there wasn't even enough really, but just to scare them a little bit. Now I find these things creepy, Ryan. Look, it's carrying a weird ass balloon of itself. It's a narcissist. Narcissistic
almost
teddy
like
bear.
that's what the bear looks like on the inside, kind of thing.
Oh, it's got so it's its friends inside. So all right, I get it.
Yeah,
he's just turned them into a balloon. Nice. It's a bit morbid.
A little bit.
Great. Thank you, Mel. That's enough of that. Thank you. And we're back into play.
Devs are mental, I'm telling you.
But this buy isn't good for our Big at all because they've actually decided to save the majority of their cash. They didn't have a lot of it to play with.
Not wasting any time, and they're going to expect Aslan on this high ground. It could have been an opportunity for Aslan if he could connect the headshot, but no, Alpha Share is actually starting to come online on the site, but Spike's been planted, and with this eco, Big
Spike
only
planted.
able to get that one kill again so far, 2v4.
Yeah, a little bit of a half buy for Big, and not really doing a lot with it. And they're going to have to drop back and concede this one. So 10-6 nonetheless for Surreal. Good sort of bounce back from what initially wasn't the best of starts in the second half. But it is going to be all about this next round buy, because Big are going to have everything that they want. Kevin on the way out manages another. For me, I want to look at the ultimates that Big have available. On the other side of things, you have got a few of them. Showstopper, Orbital Strike online, and One Away from the Rolling Thunder. So Big actually have a lot to play with. They can even play a retake, Ryan, if they wanted, with what they've got available.
For sure. Rolling Thunder is going to be available for JJ, so that could be one of the main ways to entry in onto the site. So the question is for Surreal, where are you heading? It seems like maybe that plan was initially A. That's where, on his own with despite, oh no, sorry, AlphaG's there with him. Going to try and crunch in over on his A side, but the proactiveness is going to take them into A main, and that's with that operator already on this angle to check and clear it. He is going to get tagged by the camera, but there's no follow-up at that point.
Off your feet!
Here comes that Rolling Thunder, just a main actually. It's been committed and no one's inside of it. Casper gonna come off his wall, and Alpha here in the midst. Here goes the Showstopper, it gets the first. Now the aftershock catching out Masic. Oh, Surreal, this has been a slow start, but JJ, he's carried them right through. He may not get much in the Rolling Thunder, but his rifle will find 3 and puts it down into the 1v1 as Twistin peeks out. It's chaos in the middle of the site, but it is Big who will come out on top.
Yeah, that was a blink of an eye round. Everything just seemed to come together. Just a Rolling Thunder that was used initially from JJ. The multi-kill he was able to get means that he's more than halfway to having another one just after using it. And like, yeah, Surreal on these hits look a little bit awkward in how they're just pressuring initially for this space. But it's not really the same for Big. Like, Twistin dedicates to that Showstopper, finds the early kill onto AlphaGir. The way that they're fighting for A main initially, it feels that Big overall have a much better way on how they want to approach the map. But Surreal, in any given moment, can turn it on, and as we just saw from JJ, that could have easily turned around in favor of Surreal when it had no right in being in that direction.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting to see this one pan out, but a tech issue, unfortunately, will take a little bit of the sting out of this game. We'll see if that will keep up for long, if we can get that resolved. I think earlier Surreal were having a couple of audio issues, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was something of that nature yet again. But I think I'm enjoying the Big comp a lot more than I am of Surreal. It doesn't feel like Surreal have a lot of answers available with this composition. I mean, Jailers has barely used the Cosmic Divide at all, right? He's had it online pretty much the whole first half. Now in the second, he's had it for, he's going to have it, but I don't know when he's going to use it.
Yeah.
It feels like that's pretty useless right now.
Yeah, haphazardly put together, I think, is kind of what the desk was saying about it.
There's like no thought process behind it, maybe. Or
maybe just
or
Surreal weren't expecting. I mean, this is a unique position to be in, just in the best of 5 to decide whether you're going to qualify for VCT or not. But the full map pool, I suppose, is sort of put out to dry for Surreal. I mean, they had the choice of Icebox, which didn't go their way before, so this is one of those maps that really shouldn't have been the knife in the heart for them, but it seems to be going that way. And Big, 2 more rounds. Surreal are going to be in VCT Stage 2 to be back to the Regional League of Turkey.
Right there.
Back to the difficult Regional League as well, right? You fight so hard to get out of it, you never really know how that is going to go.
You want to fight it?
You see Supermaster Blaze not making it. It's going to be less Curb's representation.
Pay attention to Aslan in this round. Not because of anything in particular, it's because the tech timeout was because he dropped a drink on his mouse pad.
Okay,
So,
that's great
see how
information.
his movement is.
Yeah, well, we'll see how that pans out. Well, now we get to watch him. He's the only player left, and he's going to actually have a few extra seconds to allow that mouse map to dry out, because it's a save call.
Yeah,
his
he's like,
teammates have just fallen
He's
flat.
just frantically like getting his mouse mat out and just wringing it out. I got the up. I'll just hold onto this angle. I'll hold the left click button ready. And it feels that this is like the one thing going for Surreal is just fast hits, fast aggression, which will work on Fracture. And it's kind of like what we said about Big on Bind. Like, the composition is good for taking initial map control and trying to set up the board in the way that you want. But it's really only like, I say that, like, all of these agents on the side of Big can just stall for as much as possible. But even then, there's only so much you can stall 5 players that are sending it at you over from B tree. You know what I mean? Like, it's slow orb's good, but you've got somebody dashing in like Mizuki, then yeah, good luck.
Well, 11-7 nonetheless. Big still in the lead, significantly so, and here on the defense is where they've done a lot of their great work throughout today. They don't really have the resources to make that happen in this kind of round, so you should be looking at Surreal taking them out. Aslan obviously saving the operator. In this kind of round, though, you want to set up the operator as much as possible. It needs to do the work. It needs to make this round sing, and we'll keep eye on Aslan. I think he's the most important player, so if we could take a look at him, Mel, that would be great. We'll see what he gets up to at the early round.
Right now, he's just teetering on the doorway of A main. The camera's in the same spot as it was the last time that he engaged Alphagir over in this spot. Or even connects onto him. Mizuki finds that opening across the map, actually towards Arcade, which is where Twisted pushes. The rest of the team for the tripwire, zipline.
You could trip on that wire, right? I would say.
Yeah, I mean, if you trip on the wire, you're pretty much done, yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely dead.
GG's on life.
Man, the amount of times I try and jump off that doesn't work, Ryan, unfortunately.
But what? Are you okay?
No, Ryan. It's my teammates, you see, in rank. It's me.
It's kind of like throwing the spike off the map, it returns, so maybe it'll do the same with you. Shorty and Play-Doh sat right in the smoke for Obnox.
Well, Goldbeat's actually going to get checked. Ryans and Jailor's just clearing it out. And maybe another slow one here for Aslan, really allowing him to dry that mouse mat out. Operator to be saved again. 8 rounds to be locked in for Surreal.
Feels that Surreal are playing around it nicely as well. Like, just that camera, the alpha shares, like, all right, the operator's over on A.
Oh, no. Missed shot. That's a death sentence. Easy kill now for JJ. Actually, it wasn't missed shot. Did JJ take damage from that shot? Okay. Just through the wall, maybe, through the clipping. But nonetheless, 11 rounds for Big, and Surreal do get their 8 rounds picked up.
Was that the first, like, engagement Aslan had since the incident? Maybe this timeout is just to give Aslan more time to dry out his mouse mat, to be fair. Because Surreal have somehow managed to crawl it back yet again. Yeah. Like, they're never done. They are never out of any of these maps.
It depends if what kind of beverage you spilled on it. Because if it was water, yeah, fair enough. But if it's like fizzy beverage...
Fizzy soft drink.
Well, not a good idea then. To let that... It's going to be sticky. It's going to be gross. It's not good. I think you just need a replacement.
I'm pretty sure he's on boot camp.
Yeah, I mean, they should have spare mouse mats around.
Yeah, both him and got beaten to play out of the compound.
The big Berlin International Gaming House.
Yeah. So I'd imagine, like, there's got to be a couple spare. Knowing God beat, he'd be like, here, take mine. Oh.
Yeah, I remember being with one of the big rosters and another when I went to an event one time. It wasn't the VALORANT team, but it was great because they all live in the same house together. So we all lost our luggage on a short flight, and unfortunately we lost all of our luggage, so we had to all fill out forms individually. So yeah, they make the airport staff make the entire big team fill out a form, and they all live in the same house. But at the end, when they hand in their forms, it's like, oh, could have just had one of you do it because you all live in the same house. I could just deliver it.
No.
And it was like the entire team. Yeah, it was awful.
The buy-in is here, and Twisted is now the one that's going to try and face up on A main. It's a pixel angle, and he actually gets through without taking any damage. So the attacking operator Mizuki doesn't quite find that opening as it has done the past couple of times. Now Alphagir is the one that's pushing up towards Dish. He's the one that's in that sort of isolating spot over at the top of the map. But every focus from Big is over towards A main. They know what's coming, and with a rolling thunder of JJ, they pretty much know that they need to shut this down as soon as possible.
Yeah, he's went towards A. Every time he's had this rolling thunder so far in this half. That's 2 rounds. Here it comes towards the bottom of the site. Gold B is going to be caught in it at the bottom. And yeah, he's going to be under a lot of pressure. Won't be able to do anything on the initial hold, and Big have fallen flat. Not a single kill picked up on the defense. Big are starting to disappear, Ryan.
Looking really awkward, isn't it? And it's also a round where I could understand what Godby was trying to do. He was trying to get onto the A site, assuming that Surreal would hold onto the rolling thunder for the post plan. But he just gets caught right into the middle of it. And even Aslan, he's like in a position, it's a nice little off angle that he can just TP out of, but he runs right into this operator. Mizuki Not the sole reason, but a major factor as to why Surreal are climbing his back again. He is so impactful. Did I just read that? Like, he had the Blade Storm as well. It's just gone down. And they're looking for this last play Casper, who really didn't have that much money to work with either. He's going to save the Judge. That's how rough it's got. A Judge has been saved.
The Judge perhaps will pass the execution order. We'll see. But at this point for Big, I think the conversation has to be that the stakes are high and perhaps less talking and more doing is maybe the motto they would go with in this round, Ryan. But given what they've got, not looking great.
Yeah, the stakes are high. And there has been a bit of a talk from Big. And they're trying to do more. Close this one out, 2 more rounds. We've said that for a while and it's not really come to pass, but Surreal could be 1 round behind here. They have a huge advantage when it comes to the economy and the buy available, but the tour de force from Aslan, what a time it would be for him to show up, and none of these like eco buys from Big are actually doing that much damage this time.
No, they're getting shredded. They're absolutely getting shredded through. You can see that as a reflection of the Surreal economy. Aslan's committed a tour de force into play, and it's actually got away with 2 on the no-scopes, but yeah, it didn't really feel like there was ever going to be much in the round for a winning, but perhaps now with Casper finding yet another. Even then, JJ's better weapon should be prevailing here. Committed the res, so at least they bait out the res towards the end of that round.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Surreal don't want to give him a chance. It's not really there for economy reasons. What is it, like 8k, 9k for Ryans? Their money's fine. They're not doing it to keep that gun in check. But now, this is an interesting timing for Surreal. Like, maybe it's people are getting a bit too excited. Now they need to sort of pay attention a bit. Like, Kundi, a couple of rounds ago, called a timeout. Like, we've won the last 4 in a row. This is where some stuff might come in. Like, pay attention to Big's economy, like what ultimates they have available. This is how we're going to go about it. But I'm a little bit worried that this might stifle a momentum that Surreal has been putting together, and it allows Big another chance to, first of all, air out Aslan's mouse mat again, but also to, again, reset and talk about how they want to approach these last couple of rounds.
Yeah, because
I wish both of these teams could qualify, man. Like, Surreal is the pure underdog, right? Like, in every situation. So seeing them go up against VCT teams, that'd be a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah, it really would be. It would be great to see them, especially since you actually predicted them, Ryan, to take the win.
Yeah, I
overall
got further than everybody else.
Yeah, you did.
At least. But, yeah, I think the promotion team, Surreal, I don't even think Surreal were the best. Well, okay, that's interesting. Operator dropped out from Mazik. Maybe thinking that they can just go in for that straight aggression. But yeah, that's odd that they've opted away from the operator for this one. What's the plan? They're pushing towards rope. They were pinging it there. The Astra smokes in spawn. Interesting.
Oh, a good play forward. Mazik actually catches got B in the gravity wall, and that is perfect to open up play.
That is beautiful when it comes to the initial setup, but there is a response from Big. They can bring that Resurrect back, and Aslan, with that EMEA control, is taken down. 4 versus 4 again. Rolling Thunder's actually going to come in from the defensive side to clear the site with the orbital strike, but all it does is stall, and Mazik's on for an ace.
Yeah, Mazik has got himself all 5 on the board, but again, you have to remember that Res has come into play, so Twistin is still up and kicking. A 1 versus 2. Mazik's killed everybody, but Twistin could still win this round. He's looking for the headshot. Alfire goes down, and now it is all on Mazik. He has to do everything. He has to kill absolutely everybody. The Blade Storm versus the Showstopper, and the Showstopper will end the show. Big with 12 rounds are 1 away from winning this best of 5.
Match point.
What says it better than Mazik gets an ace and he still loses? Right,
yeah.
That's the kind of performance he's put in. And also the show, like, this is like baseball, like, and it's good. It proper connects onto where Mazik, he's trying to updraft to be a harder target to hit, but it doesn't matter. Twistin connects. This is unbelievable that it's turned out this way off the back of a brilliant Surreal set play.
Yeah, I love the start of the round from Surreal. Everything about it was so fun to watch from Mazik's perspective, but now it is down to this buy. They have a lot of money. They have everything they want, but Casper wall comes up, but they're going to break through it. It's quick. It's fire and fury for Surreal forward, and they're trying to attack in, but it's been slowed down. Trademark destroyed.
Big is over here like a rush. Everybody's in this position, and this could be it. Surreal having to hold on 3 versus 2. However, Ryan's and JJ made it better for them, and
yeah,
the plan is going to go down.
Obnox is close to the smoke. Oh, luckily, I thought he was about to go down, but he will. Eventually, he will, and Twistin once again into the clutch. It's a rinse and repeat. It's an identical round. A 1 versus 2 retake from the exact same position. He's got the paint shells.
He's got it all. He's got all of his utility to work with, and he's going to send it all at the same time.
Sends the boom bot in below, but it's taken out of play. Paint Shells hasn't found his reward, and so they're still doubled up, and Twistin pulled into the fall. What? Okay, Twistin, that is ridiculous! That's the way he closes it. He drags Big, kicking and screaming through to another round win, and this time it's for the best of 5. This time is to claim their spot at VCT Stage 2.
This has been the pickup of the year, hasn't it? Twistin going to Big, and it means that he's back for VCT. We get more action from the German squad. In fact, this time we have 2 of them. Zescht is going to be happy. Big and Focus, the 2 teams that are going to be making it into Stage 2 to join the rest of the gang that we saw in Stage 1. And honestly, after a performance like that, they deserve to be. As much as Surreal have been fantastic to watch, certainly Mazik has been in form and has been incredible. Big coming back, biting back. It's everything that you'd want to see from this squad.
Yeah, I mean, the way to close it for Twistin, that felt almost impossible to get back in, right? The utility doesn't even do a whole lot. The little tap, the clutch is incredible. Twistin shows his level is very exciting, and this is why we want to see Big in the VCT for next year. This is the potential they have, and they need more time. You know, to go out from Stage 1 and maybe not return for the second stage, it would be a disaster. As you said, maybe roster changes for Big down the line, but Twistin has showed us exactly why we want to see him play in this stage of the competition. And VCT are lucky to have Big back. Obviously, we're hoping that they'll be able to perform better going into the next season, but certainly performing better today were the big plays. You can now look over at social media, have your say as to who you think was the player of the match. At the bottom of your screen, you can see where you can head over to it, FAL Esports_EMEA. Your options for players to select as the MVP are for Twistin. We have got Gobi and Aslan as the options, so you guys can head over that. For me, I'm going to go with Twistin, but Gobi certainly had some standout moments today, Ryan.
Yeah, and like I sort of said on the Icebox as well, like Aslan being able to adjust to the role that he's playing, looks, in form again on that sort of change-up too, and the fact that he can pull out the chamber and find that success there. Yeah, this Big team is one to watch, and I don't think this is a squad that's going to go 0-5 in stage 2, that's for sure.
Yes, well, I'm sure Zescht is going to be very happy about this, and we get to see his smug face, his happy face. After this break, the desk will bring you the breakdown from this best of 5.